Madid, and welcome to episode 11 of Climate Impact Storytelling. I'm Maren Krings, and in this series, I share stories from my global travels, spotlighting the change makers, solution seekers, and earth stewards I meet along the way. In this episode, I take you on the move to Pakistan. I visited in December 2024, just as Lahore recorded the highest air pollution levels in its history. With over 14 million people, Lahore, Pakistan's second largest city, came to a near standstill. Schools, institutions, and everyday life were shut down for nearly 2 weeks as pollution levels soared 40 times above the WHO limit. Imagine the usual packed markets and busy roads going silent. In the heart of this crisis, I met Syra Zahid, an inspiring woman whose story weaves together professional sports, women's rights, and environmental activism. Join me on the move.
Hi, my name is Syra Zahid and I'm 27 years old. I'm a cyclist and I'm the very first cyclist from Gilgit-Baltistan. Currently I live in Lahore and I'm working to normalize cycling in Pakistan to minimize the impact of fossil fuel and climate change. I won my first gold medal in cycling in 2019 in the HEC Women's Cycling Championship, and straight till 2023 I have been winning the championship and having gold medal. Cycling is my passion, but I'm not taking it only a sport, but I'm working to normalize cycling culture in Pakistan to minimize the impact of climate change because the population is increasing day by day and the traffic is increasing. So this year Lahore faced the worst smoke, and it's because of the fossil fuel and the lot of traffic and cars. Mobility of women in Pakistan is very hard. You cannot travel on local vehicles. You cannot have your own vehicle. Like only the privileged ones can have their own cars. But mobility of women is really hard. You get harassed on the streets. So I think having a cycle and traveling on cycle is the best option. So I am trying to motivate the girls and be an example for them to come on the cycles and use cycle for their daily commute. I try to go on bike to work on my cycle, and I do all my groceries and all the daily commute on cycle. So I try not to use automobile as much as I can. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, there are no dedicated lines for cycling. There are no proper routes for cycling. So you have to be very careful about it. Especially being a woman, you get stared. People harass you on the street. When you are on bike, they think you are open for harassment and they can say anything to you. So you have to be very careful. You always should keep something, a safety measure with you. For example, you should know a bit of self-defense, or you should have something with you like knife or taser or like that, because when you are on bike you are very vulnerable to those. And another thing is for safety thing, you should wear helmet, and you should have the knee pads and elbow pad, and you should wear the proper kit for cycling to avoid injuries. Because I live independently and I have to go to market anytime, like at the middle of the night, like going to the grocery store or a medical store. I have my bike with me every time. So yeah, I have the safety measures. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, when a women want to do something, people put you in doubt that you cannot do this thing and this thing. And unfortunately, everything in Pakistan is gendered. I think it's a global issue that everything is gendered. Sports is gendered, dressing is gendered, everything is. So when it comes to cycling and when it comes to sports, people try to stop you by saying this is very masculine thing, but that is really not. Uh, if you are a woman, you can do that. So you should always fight for your rights, and please don't stop. I come from Skardu. Skardu is a beautiful city in Gilgit-Baltistan, and unfortunately, we don't have much opportunities um, when it comes to sports, and especially when it comes to female sports. So when I started cycling, I had to go through uh, a lot of challenges, and I did not have any platform to express myself, and to do sports. I did not have any support. Cycling in traditional clothes is like very hard. So having all the uh, cultural sensitivities, I try not to be in kit always. And when I go to Skardu, I really respect the culture. I really respect the values. So I try not to wear kit there, especially. So in Lahore, it's 50-50. But in Skardu, it's always traditional. I moved to Lahore to pursue cycling. So like there are the education system is like there are no very good schools. The health system is like medical facilities are not there. Very basic health facilities are there, and very basic education is there. And when it comes to sports, there is nothing for sports. I started a cycling school in Skardu. That is very first cycling school in the whole Gilgit-Baltistan. I started it. It went very well. Then I had to take a break because of some issues occurred there. So now I'm going back and I'm going to resume it, and I'm going to like make it bigger. Now I'm going back to Skardu to serve my own community, because I believe if you just speak about change, it does not happen. You need to set example. You need to start it from yourself. You need to go there and start working. So I'm going back to my community to serve them, to 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 show them like a change is possible, and I'm doing it.
It's an honor to have you join us from Lahore in Pakistan. Now, we have seen a short video of you already, but please help us to understand a bit better who you are and what the amazing things are that you have done in your life.
All right. Thank you, Marin, for having me. I'm so excited. It's going to be a wonderful conversation with you. So yeah, I'm Saira Hussain from north of Pakistan. It's called Gilgit-Baltistan, and there's a small village in Gilgit-Baltistan named Neskardu, which is located in uh, the lap of Karakoram and Himalayas mountain ranges. So I'm a climate and a peace activist and a cyclist as well. And I have been working across Pakistan to normalize cycling as a to reduce carbon footprints and to normalize cycling as a accessible and easy commute both for men and women. Yeah.
And that is quite a challenge. Now, our audience has already seen the film, and I would hold up to the challenge of maneuvering the Pakistani traffic on a bike. Where are you living now?
Yeah, although I belong to Skardu, but I currently I'm in Lahore for my work. I'm currently leading a project in Lahore, which is redefining the education culture in Pakistan. Um, it's working to it's focused on skill based education,
Mhm.
like especially tech education. So I'm leading that project right now. So for this specific project I'm living in Lahore right now.
And you are riding your bike in Lahore every day to work?
Oh yes, every day to work. I have to. Yeah, I do all my daily commute on bike, and as you said, it's the traffic. Is crazy, and it's very challenging to cycle in Lahore. There are no dedicated lanes. There are no traffic rules, so it's really challenging. But I have been working to like influence the policies as well with some a couple of organizations, but unfortunately it did not work. So I am still cycling, and weekly I have this cycling rides. I have a group and we come on bike, and we are kind of like trying to give the people this message that it's really needed. It's the need of the time to bring people on bikes, because the smoke situation is worst in Lahore. You have experienced it yourself in
Yes.
last December, right? So it's worst every day. So this is, I think, coming on bike and reducing carbon footprints is the only solution. So still we are like coming on bike and arranging this rides. And for personally, I go on my work on bike. I do my grocery on bike, like
Wow.
everything. So yeah, I'm
Wow.
totally out of this, like cars and automobiles.
It's just fantastic. I mean, you are really my climate hero, my Pakistani climate hero, I have to say.
Thank you.
You made a little comment. I will fill in our audience. When I interviewed Syra in Lahore, we were pretty much maybe 25 meters off one of the really, really big traffic veins, traffic streets in Lahore. The pollution was incredible. It was sort of it was harvest time. The fields were being burned. We didn't have any rain for a very long time at that point. I think it was very dry. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of, particular matter in the air. For me, as a European, not being used to these levels of air pollution, it was quite drastic. And I remember we had a maybe 15-minute interview, and I closed the camera and I went down on the ground unconscious. It just, standing in these fumes for, with our photo shooting, it might have been half an hour, not very much longer. Was just, I couldn't handle it. And it's just, I mean, it's, how do you protect yourself physically when you're riding on, like, do you have a nose mask to keep the particular matter out, or how, is there any protection that you're using?
Yeah, I've always I have on my mask, right? I keep it wearing every time. Not even I am not even on bike. I have to wear it every day. Not only in the smoke season, but every day. In this season also, like I wear mask because I am a bit more sensitive towards like pollution and all, so I have to wear it. And for the
Mm.
safety measures, like I regularly use helmets, gloves, and knee pads. and a specific, a spatial costume. So yeah, I have to be very careful about my safety, because I can expect anything on the road, right? Because people on the motorbikes and people on the cars, they never like they never take care. They never care if you are on a bike or if you are walking. They just cross you very closely. They don't keep the safe
Yeah.
distance.
Well,
So for me, it's very necessary to like to be very careful about my safety. So I wear mask, helmets, and I do all my safety measures. Yeah.
good. Yes, and that's also a bit of a disclaimer because for our photo shooting, we chose not to have you in a helmet and everything because it was also a bit about the issue that we will now be talking about, which has a lot to do with gender. Yes, you do find a lot of bikers in Pakistan, but usually these bikers are male. And it's quite something to be riding a bike as a female. Maybe start with your childhood, start with your upbringing, because I know this story touched me so deeply to hear how you discovered the bike and how you just fell in love with the bike and how you and the bike just started making a symbiosis in life.
Yeah, so the story is very close to my heart. I remember, like, growing up, I just realized women in my region are not allowed to do certain activities like sports, going out unnecessarily, and going out after evening, and a lot of other things. And I started questioning why women cannot do this, and why men are allowed for these things. um and I started rebelled against it, right? I started like doing what I was not allowed to do. I never understood why was I not allowed. I remember I went to my father one day, and I asked, uh, I just wanted to be a boy, because boys are more freer and they are very they go out easily, they cycle, they do whatever they want. So I want to be a boy. And my father took it very lightly, and he was like, okay, you can be a boy. I'll bring you some boys clothes, and you can wear it. I'll name you Asad. That's an Urdu male name. So
You even got a male name
yeah, it's a male
temporarily.
name. And he was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
I'll give you this name, and you will wear boys' clothes, and you will have that haircut, and you will be a boy. Not a big deal. And and I took it very seriously as well. And so I cycled very freely in my childhood. My parents did not have issue, but people around me, they had like they rebelled. They kind of like I had a lot of backlashes my parents faced. So the story began when I realized that why women are more restricted, right?
Mm.
So I started cycling. I did not have a bike. My brother had a bike. So when
Yeah.
he went to school, I used to have the cycle and go out. And when he came back from school, um, uh, I came home and put it back silently. And there was my routine every day. I used to steal his cycle and go out and all. And I still remember, I was half asleep. I overheard my parents discussing. My father was like, I'm going to get her a bike. Um,
Oh,
this is she's doing just this because out of the curiosity,
yeah.
she will cycle for some time and she will forget it. And my mother was so against it, and my mother was like, no, you are not going to do that, because you are not the one who live here. I'm the one who live here, and I will face the backlashes and all what people say. So
So your mom
there
actually experienced repressions because of you riding the bike.
Yeah, she
and
was.
being a boy temporarily.
Oh yeah, yeah. My mother was totally against it, and she wasn't okay with it at all. And I remember on the special occasions like Eids and the events when we have to wear different dresses, we have to be dress up. So my mother used to bring me uh, girls' dresses, fancy dresses, and I would not wear it. And a lot of events, a lot of festivals and eats in my childhood, I did not wear anything, any new clothes in my childhood. So there was my mother still like she was rebelling, she was resisting that you had to wear this kind of dress, and I would like resist. So but my father was he was always on my side. And like because she was also like forced from the society, right? Because
Yeah.
every day my brother had a complaint, every day my mother had a complaint about me. I avoid facing my I used to avoid facing my mother, facing my brother, because every day they had some new story about me, like
Hi.
you were riding bike on the road this day, and you were there. Some of neighbors uh, saw you there and here, and they were like, so I used to avoid. So this is how I spent my childhood. uh,
Sarah,
so
Sarah,
yeah.
it's interesting. You're actually saying so you got more repression actually from your mom than from your father, while your mom, knowing what the traditional role of a woman in Pakistan is, was much more aware of maybe also the repressions that you would be facing later, and hence your dad, ready to let you go in freedom and really be a rebel. Did that ever lead to like bigger clashes within the entire family? I mean, you have how many siblings?
Uh, we are seven sisters and two brothers.
Wow.
So actually it's all like, because of, if I go deep down, it's it's a very patriarchal thought, right? My mother lived a patriarchal life.
Yeah.
She was forced to live a life that way, and she knew the consequences. Actually, she
Hmm.
knew I would be disowned by my society
Hmm.
for doing such things, for going against the traditional roles, because there are a lot of like there are traditional, there are gender roles, right? My mother, she was raised like this, between gender roles, home house chores for women, and rearing kids, and cooking, cleaning, that's for women. And
Hmm.
for men, earning and doing masculine things like cycling and going out and all. So my mother was also like, deep down, she was trained, and she was like, her mind was like made up like this. So she kind of resisted a lot. um, but on the other side, my father, he was the one who went out, he was educated, and he was in a very like
Mhm.
good like profession. He was very exposure, he met people outside.
Yeah.
So he was a bit like open for
Yeah.
that, right? But still I faced uh, restrictions from my other family members. I remember when I pursued cycling as a career, as a profession, some of my family members did not talk to me for a year.
Oh,
So yeah, like it's
let's back up, because we know now that you basically started cycling as a little girl already, and then it just went on from there. Where where was that turning point in your life where cycling became more than just being a little rebel in, Gilgit-Baltistan in Skardu, which is still a very rural area?
I actually had to connect this to my studies, right? Because
Mm,
Gilgit-Baltistan is it's a place people are very focused on studies, very focused on academic achievements,
yeah.
and girls and people who are in sports, they are not very celebrated. So somehow I had to connect it to my academics and my studies somehow to be acknowledged, right?
Yeah.
So when I did my high schools, have the high school studies, I had to go to university. But being an average student, like I was always very active in speeches, in sports, in co-curricular activities, in singing and all. And I had not enough marks to go to a university, very good university, right? In Pakistan, we have to have very good marks.
Mm.
So I started applying on sports-based scholarships in the bigger cities like
Wow.
Lahore, Islamabad, and all. So, and I chose Lahore. I started applying, and in one of very prestigious, one of the biggest universities in Pakistan, I was accepted there. I was offered fully funded scholarship on cycling based.
Wow.
So I uh, when I got this scholarship on cycling based, it was very easy for me to convince my family, my parents. It was very easy for me to tell them that my studies, my academics, and all my
Mhm.
education will be funded, accommodation, everything will be funded. So this is how I convinced them. And
That's a perfect start to the study life, I would say.
yeah, there was a turning point for me actually, because
Yeah.
before that, before going to the university, I had to stop cycling for a while. Not
Oh,
for
wow.
like for a very good time, like for 5 to 6 years I did not cycle at all, because I was grown up, right? I was not allowed to cycle at all. My parents strictly said, you are grown up, you are not allowed to go out and
Yeah.
cycle. Whatever you have to do, you have to stay inside the boundary and do whatever you want to do, like, and you are not allowed to go out and cycle.
Yeah.
So I stopped it there.
Mm.
And when I got this scholarship, I kind of continued my journey. And because I stopped cycling there, I was not in practice. It
Yeah.
was the main challenge was when I had to compete the other cyclist in Pakistan who was in practice, who was
Yeah.
connected with the cycling clubs. So I had to compete with them, and luckily, it's kind of a miraculously I got selected, and I was accepted in a university, and I started there. Then the real journey and the real challenge started there, when even for qualifying the big competitions like HEC, like the national games,
Yeah.
you have to work very hard, and you have to go through a lot of trials and
Yeah.
compete and win it, and then you are qualified to but, to compete in that certain games, right? So
Mhm.
real challenge started there. I remember when I started the university with my studies, I used to do training for 3 times a day. I used to wake up early morning before my classes. I used to go for my training uh, b- before my breakfast, 3 to 4 hours training
Wow.
before breakfast, before my classes, and after classes I would go to, without rest, I would go to training directly. And
Wow.
I used to do my gym, I used to do my cross fitness training, strength training. And so there was the toughest time. And I remember after all this, when I after a year I went to home. I went to Skardu, I went to home, and I when I met my mother, she literally cried when she saw me, because I was totally a changed person. I was half of my weight that time. um, I was totally changed. I was very skinny. I was very like I was very dark and skinny, and I
Of
looked very
course, you
weak.
spent a lot of time
Yeah,
outside, so you got very
really. Yeah,
tanned and you were trained like crazy.
yeah, tried like crazy, right?
Wow.
And as I mentioned, that I'm the very first cyclist from Gilgit-Baltistan who pursued cycling as a career, and they qualified for these games, ETC and national games, and
Yeah.
qualified. And luckily, when I appeared in the games, HEC games and national games, like I continuously won gold medal for years, for
Wow.
2 years, for 3 years. I won bronze medal, I won silver medal. So yeah. Then when I got medals in these games, media persons and different organizations started recognizing my efforts. Right, I was uh, I was nominated for some awards in Pakistan, for like women to under 25, under 25 award, for being exceptional and extraordinary women in Pakistan. That the award was there was the award was there was awarded for only 25 women in Pakistan, so I was nominated for that, and couple of other awards. So when people got to know that, like, people are celebrating me, and they have started acknowledging me, then kind of my family also got a bit open for it. And people around me, they were also like, and they got to know she's on scholarship, her parents are not paying anything for her studies, they are a bit more open, right? So I remember people started contacting me, like how did you avail the scholarship, we also want to send our girls. So there was the biggest achievement, more than the awards, when I was contacted by people, like, now we want to send our girls as well. So that was the biggest achievement for me.
Wow. You were training every day, and obviously you were sort of embedded in a cycling team, right?
Yeah,
Were these all men or were there other women?
with other women.
Okay, so
Yeah,
there were. It's basically it was a very rare thing to happen that there was a female cyclist in Gilgit-Baltistan, but in the rest of Pakistan, even though it's not a typical thing, but it does happen. So there's a fair
yeah,
amount of female
that's true.
cyclists.
That's true. Especially in Gilgit-Baltistan, and especially in Skardu, where
Yeah.
like the city I belong to.
Hmm.
There are no sports schools. There
Okay.
is female being in sports is a very alien and a very new thing.
Yeah.
And people who are like and if I talk about the whole Gilgit-Baltistan, for Gilgit-Baltistan, it's like if people in Pakistan, like, cycling is still very rare thing, especially for women.
Mm.
But it's not very common, because a lot of universities, there are only a few universities, five four or five universities in Pakistan have this cycling team, but not every university has like cycling team. So when in my university, when I came into the university, it was the very first women cycling team in my university.
Wow.
So even in Pakistan, it's not like common, having a women cycling team, who were having women cyclists. And still, you don't see a lot of women on cycles in Pakistan.
Oh yeah,
Very rare.
I
Like,
can
if I
definitely
tell
vouch
you
for
about, like, every day, I I will see a girl once in a month, once in a like one woman in a month on cycle. And not they're not like, they're not alone. They even the girls are in group, right?
that.
If
Okay.
there are group rides, um, in the group rides they participate, but individually not a single woman is seen on roads. So it's still like not even in the, not only in Gilgit-Baltistan, but whole in Pakistan, it's still a very rare thing. But
Yeah.
in Gilgit-Baltistan, when you go to Gilgit-Baltistan and to Skardu, it's like no other women like than me on cycle, on bike. Yeah.
Yeah. Syra, did you I mean, I suppose this is a valid question. Did you experience a lot of marginalization once you started cycling and you were actually successful with it? I mean, you told the positive part of the story, but I can imagine there's also people who were maybe jealous and people who were now deliberately trying to put barriers in your way. Did you experience this, or was it a complete, open arm journey where people would embrace that you were brave enough to do that and to go that journey, and really supportive, or was it kind of both ways?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's been very different for me. When I started cycling, when my stories started coming on media,
Mm,
I actually did not see very welcoming gestures. Actually,
mm,
last year, a story of mine came on air, and there were a lot of negative comments on my under my cycling video. People were criticizing, people were connecting it to religion, people were connecting it to culture and all, but I believe it has nothing to do
mm,
with religion and culture. But I still face a lot of criticism. But on the other side, I people have been very supporting as well,
mhm,
like the people who contacted me and who featured my story,
yeah,
who documented my story, who supported me. I was more focused on them, so that's why I was able to ignore the negative part of it.
mm, yeah,
So yes, that's true, I faced a lot of criticism. I have been marginalized for being a cyclist. And another thing is, because I was from Gilgit-Baltistan, I was from Skardu, which is a very remote, uh, which is deprived from even basic facilities.
mm,
Um, when I was on the initial stages in cycling, even my coach, even my teammate, even people in my university used to think that I would not perform well. But I still remember my coach would he would discriminate me. He would say, no, you did not have to participate in this game because it needed a lot of efforts and all. I still remember, and I was discriminated for a very long time. And when I after like when I won gold medal, and when I won the competitions, then then they became open about me. Before that, I faced a lot of discrimination, a lot of like uh, marginalization, right? So
yeah.
yeah, uh, being marginalized for being a female, then being a female cyclist. So
And
yeah,
being from a rural area.
being from a rural area, being from a certain belief and
Yeah,
ideology, right?
yeah,
So yeah, my kind of double and triple minority, right?
yeah.
So yeah, I have been
Oh
facing this.
gosh, that's an arduous journey. If we were all to change from cars or tuk-tuks to cycles, then of course this would make a huge difference, especially in the big cities of Pakistan. What is it that's continuing to motivate you to basically go the hard way and not bend to the system and do what's expected of you to be doing?
All right. So it's always my mission, the mission statement in my life, that I want to see a pollution-free, free world, right? Without any carbon footprint, without any pollution, uh, and uh, and another mission to see more women commuting freely, commuting safely. It keeps me it keeps me energized wh- when I wake up every day. I have this thing in my mind, like, today, if I don't cycle, if I don't rebel against these systematic things, then who will be? Like, when I go to go on the roads on bike, people see me, young girls see
Yeah.
me, they get influenced, they like I'm pretty sure that I'm influencing, I'm inspiring people, I'm inspiring young women, and I'm giving this message to them
Yeah.
that that safe commute is easy, safe commute is possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And commute should be equal, and commute should be accessible equally to men and to women both. And since Pakistan is going through a lot of climate crisis, especially Gilgit-Baltistan, due to the tourist influx, a lot of constructions are happening, a lot of unplanned construction is happening, a lot of non-custom paid vehicles are coming in.
Mm.
So, which is why the environment is getting polluted day by day. I am working to bringing more people on cycles, on bikes. So because in Gilgit-Baltistan, the main attractions and the main places are very on a very short distance, they're not very far.
Mm-hmm.
So commuting on bikes is very easy in Gilgit-Baltistan.
Yeah.
So I think, I if I stop cycling, this won't happen, right?
Yeah.
And I have to continue this journey until everybody is on bike and the environment is cleaner than we have what we
Yeah.
have today.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you think it is easier to push that initiative to have people switch to the bike as a mode of transportation in the rural areas or in the urban areas where there's a much more higher density of people? Where do you see better chances for that?
I think it's very challenging, but
Mm.
it's not impossible. It's very hard because, especially in rural areas like Gilgit-Baltistan, there are the cars and automobiles are very easily accessible because of the non-custom pad. No taxes are applicable on the cars. That's why
Mhm.
people are more comfortable with cars and motorbikes.
Yeah.
So, but with awareness, if people are more aware about what will be the consequences of having fossil fuels
Mm.
and having these automobiles, then I think it's going to be a bit easier. And the same in the rural, in the urban areas. In the urban areas, it's a bit more easier, because people are now, because smoke is just in front of them, and
Yeah.
people are questioning why is it happening.
Yeah.
And transportation and automobile is 70% automobiles are contributing towards it. So because it's something in front of them physically, so it's a bit like, it's easier
More
to convince
touchable.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think state has to intervene in it,
Mhm.
and we should have like more climate supporting
Yeah.
policies for it. Because when there are no roads, when there are no safety, like safe lanes for bikers, for cyclists, then obviously nobody will risk their life,
Yeah.
right? So I think state should intervene, and policies, we should have uh, b- 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 s- climate supporting policies for this.
Yeah. Now, is there any public transportation available in cities like Lahore, Islamabad, Peshawar?
Uh, Public transport?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, public transport is it's easily accessible in in the big cities like Islamabad, Lahore, Karachi, and Peshawar.
Yeah.
So there are metro, there are Orange Line trains and metro buses, speedo. So
And they're also easy to use for women, or is it again something that is more accessible to the men and for the women again, if they have somebody with them, it's okay, but otherwise.
it is accessible for women, but not as accessible and safer uh,
Hmm.
for women like than men, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there are less dedicated seats for women.
Okay.
There are less space for women in both in the trains and in the buses,
Yeah.
and uh, uh, women like they don't feel safe in public transport because
Mhm.
of harassment, because of what they face, what they
Yeah.
go through in the buses and public transport. So a lot of women avoid using transportation, public transport. So they either they have to
Mm.
go towards very expensive and costly online cabs like
Yeah.
Uber rides, or auto and rickshaws, which is very costly for them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So even there, the bike is actually also an empowerment tool, giving them the freedom to move as they want to and as they need to, right? The women.
Yeah, bikes are very like it's cheap,
Mm.
it's accessible, and it's very like pocket friendly, right?
Yeah.
So if more women come towards bikes for their daily commute, it's going to be very easy for them.
Yeah.
And kind of with the riding bike, they uh, the sense of the freedom they
Yeah.
are going to have is bigger, right?
Oh
the
yeah.
the feeling that wherever they want to go, wherever they want to travel, they can easily. So I think this is bigger than that.
Yeah. And Sira, coming to our last question, you are the co-founder of the Aman movement, which is a peace and justice movement in Pakistan. I think it's also worldwide, or is it just in Pakistan?
Yeah, it's in Pakistan right now,
Okay.
but a few conferences and webinars we have like organized beyond Pakistan.
Okay. And I remember you also saying that there was this idea of creating sustainable tourism to also bring more awareness to the waste management that is literally missing in Pakistan still, or at least in big parts. How is this all coming together? I mean, it sounds like you have so many missions on your plate: the cycling, then the Amen Peace movement, then your environmental dedication. How are you bridging all these things? Where's your center point where all these interests and also your activism meets?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. Like these two initiatives are very close to my heart. Aman movement and Aman suffer. These two initiatives. So, that's very true. That I am focused on a lot of issues, right? Gender issues, climate issues, and peace in Pakistan. So these all started. This all start with peace, right? When there is a climate crisis, we are not in peace. When women are not treated equally, we are not in peace. So to ensure peace in the society, we have to ensure gender equality. We have to ensure our climate is safe, right? Our environment is safe, and we are um, uh, we are safe from the climate change danger and climate change disasters. So in Pakistan, every year we have huge floods in Pakistan.
Mm.
Every year we have huge disastrous and catastrophic floods in Gilgit-Baltistan in Skardu.
Mm.
And due to these displacements and
Yeah.
due to these migrations, people go through poverty, people go through this food scarcity and a lot of other issues. And this also and women are equally part of it. Women It's the women who face more challenges, because household is in hands of women. But women are responsible to take care of kids, women are responsible to take care of the household and everything. So when there is flood, when their houses
Yeah.
are destroyed, when they have no space, when they have no place to go to. Okay, men can sleep anywhere, men can go anywhere, men can eat anywhere. But the women, they are not free to sleep anywhere, free to go to anywhere. They have their kids attached to them, responsibilities and care work is attached to them. So these all are connected. I like gender issues, climate, peace, and everything. So when when there is poverty, when there is climate issues, when there is gender issues, there is no peace in the society, right? So I started Aman movement with two of my very dear friends, my sister and my friend Muhammad Fahad and Ishrat. So we started Aman movement when a lot of there were a lot of restlessness in Pakistan. There were a lot of religious and violent extremism. Religious violent extremism was happening continuously. Mob lynching was happening. Like a very unfortunate a few incidents happened, like some of Pakistanis, they were mob lynched maybe on the basis of false allegations. So and especially in Gilgit-Baltistan, some of the events happened, like while traveling, while, like when my fellow uh, people in my hometown, they were traveling to another city, they were uh, they were stopped in the way and they were murdered in the way. So a lot of things started happening continuously. Then we decided not to wait anymore and just to
Yeah.
start something for peace in Pakistan, peace in Gilgit-Baltistan. And we came up with this idea. We came up with uh, with Aman movement. And I personally realized these all hatred and these all issues are happening because people don't meet with each other, people don't talk. There is a lot of hatred because people don't know about each other. There is no storytelling, they don't know each other's story. So I started organizing trips, and I started bringing people from the cities to mountains, and taking people from mountains to the cities, and
Yeah.
making them sit on one platform and make them talk to each other. I started storytelling, and I started trying to bridge them
Yeah.
and bring them on a common ground. So and on the other hand, peace is not possible uh, without working on the other issues like climate and gender issues,
Yeah.
right? Like when in your home, when though two genders are not treated equally, like
Mm.
women is treated differently, men is treated differently, one is privileged, one is oppressed, then of course, like there will be a restlessness in the homes, and it will go to the society, and to society, to the wider ranges in the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, keeping all these things in the view, I just
Mm.
started these two movements. Aman Aman suffer for sustainable tourism,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for bridging people,
Yeah.
and for empowering the local community of Gilgit-Baltistan more empowered, and especially women, because households is in the hand of women.
Yeah.
I started making the women in the area, making them host the tourists, so they get to know the people from outside, and they earn through it as well. And another goal of Aman Safar was, there were a lot of construction was happening in Gilgit-Baltistan. It
Yeah.
still is happening without any infrastructure, without any planning, without any
Mm.
waste management planning. So a lot of hotels are in making, and uh, a lot of investment, a lot of investors are coming in. Local community is not benefiting at all.
Mm.
So to benefit the local community, and to reduce these big constructions, and save the environment, I gave this idea to the
Mm.
people that you people should start hosting people in your homes.
Wow.
So you will be able to bridge this gap between the communities.
Yeah.
Secondly, you will be empowered economically, and thirdly, you will be saving the environment. So this idea, this is the idea behind Aman Safar. And Aman movement was totally for minority rights, for countering violent extremism in Pakistan, for peace and justice.
Wow. Sarah, it's been such a present to be able to listen to you one more time. And I hope it was not the last time. I hope our path will cross in real life again, because you just always have some more stories to add to your storytelling. You're such a good storyteller, and it's heartwarming for me as a
Thank
as a climate impact storyteller to also hear how much of focus you put on the power of storytelling, and how much we can give back to society and to people, how much we can mobilize through storytelling, and how much change this can actually accelerate. So it's thank you very, very much for what you're doing. Thank you for taking the time to sharing that with the community of Gaia Gossip and the Her Many Voices Foundation. I do hope that this podcast was able to inspire many of our listeners. What is it that you are mostly looking for from the international community to support your cause and your activities in Pakistan?
I want to have support for my cycling school in Gilgit-Baltistan, uh, b- which is which is on break right now because of lack of resources. So because bikes are very expensive in Pakistan
Yeah.
due to the taxes and duties, so it's really costly in Pakistan. So because if I tell the girls to buy a cycle first and then come to my academy, which is going to be impossible, right?
Yeah.
So I want to provide them bicycles. I want to provide them this to make it easier for them to come on bike, and to train them and give them bikes. And so I normalize it in Gilgit-Baltistan. So I want support for my cycling school, which is the very first cycling school in Gilgit-Baltistan, and one of very few cycling schools in whole Pakistan. So
Probably
yeah.
the only one that focuses on girls.
Yeah, that's focused on girls only. And I'm not only focused on
Yeah.
cycling, I'm focused on all the other
Yeah.
sports games as well, and cross fitness and mental and mental fitness as well. So and I'm working to expand it more, and like bring in more girls into it. And right now it's limited to Skardu. I want to expand it to whole Gilgit-Baltistan, and then to Pakistan and beyond. So, and maybe someday I expand it to Afghanistan as well, because what's happening
Wow.
in Afghanistan is so close to my heart, and I really wish to do something for the girls in Afghanistan as well. And anywhere in the world, women are going through such issues, whether it's about education, whether it's about mobility or
Yeah.
sports. So I want to expand it, and I want to support them all. So another thing is like I want support for Aman movement as well. Like I want to expand Aman movement the beyond Pakistan, and I want to bring in more people from across the world, because Pakistan is being very notorious for being not peaceful country. But Pakistan is a very peace loving country. Pakistanis love seeing people beyond Pakistan, and they're very hospitable. They always love seeing people. But unfortunately, there
Mhm.
were some groups which we won't call them Pakistani, who did some things which that we suffered also. Not we suffered, we lost our lives, and still we are blamed for being terrorists, which is totally not true. We suffered, and we are still suffering. So I think we deserve but to be like more like with like good names, not labeled with terrorist. So I request people who are watching me, please come to Pakistan, please contact me, please contact Aman movement, Aman Safar, and come to Pakistan, experience it yourself, and give this message to everyone, everyone in the world, that Pakistan is a very peaceful country. You will be very safe here, and we love having you in Pakistan.
The month that we spent with, not with you alone, but in Pakistan, was such a beautiful experience. Sarah,
I hope
thank
so.
you so, so much for for what you do for all of us, and for continuing the hard work to fight for the rights for women, and make this planet a better one, and make it more green again. Thank you so much. It was lovely to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Marin, for having me. And it's been it's been lovely conversation, very heart to heart. Like I was able to be more open up, and yeah, it's very close to my heart. So thank you for having me. Thank you for asking these questions, and thank you for bringing out these stories, which was just like which was buried inside.
Thank you again for joining us at Her Many Voices Gaia Gossip. Remember, whatever you do for another, you do for yourself. For more information, head over to hermanyvoices.org to learn more about other programs and get involved. From all of us at Gaia Gossip and Her Many Voices Foundation, thank you, and until next time.